Welcome to Sober.Coffee, a weekly coffee chat sharing experience, strength, and hope for anyone on the sober road to recovery. You can download Sober.Coffee weekly on all podcast platforms and check us out on Instagram at Sober.Coffee Podcast and on Twitter at Sober.Coffee Pod. To learn more about us and to help support these sessions, visit online at Sober.Coffee. Here are your hosts, two guys on their own path to recovery, Mike and Glenn. Let's join them at the coffee shop.
Glenn.
Hey, what's happening? Hey, I know we normally banter about stuff.
Banter, right.
Like we talk about stuff in the parking lot and stuff. But I just love how this sobriety stuff works. Right?
Talk to me.
So I know you do a lot of your sobriety, like, connections in the room.
Right.
You go to newcomer meetings, you drag people from hell, you connect with them, you show them some love, you talk to them, right? Show them some, experience, strength, and hope. There is a solution, all that stuff.
Right.
While you're doing that, I'm on social media, right? So I've connected some really cool people on social media, and if I could jump into your normal stick, we have a table for three today.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
We have a table for three. First time I've ever done that, but this is one of our favorites, and it's Steph. I'll let her introduce herself. She's been on before,
Right. So this is kind of part two or part three, or
I think it's part three or part four, but. And it's probably part 4 of 10, right? Because she's just a sober light, a sober sunshine out there, and is a regular connection. And I just love seeing her stuff. And you know what? There's just times, because I don't have a perfect life, and where I just jump on that during a meeting, at work, right? And I see some of her stuff. I'm just lights up my moment. It's really cool. So, Steph, great to have you back.
Yeah, welcome, Steph.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Mike and Glenn. I'm super happy to be here.
Yeah, so here's what happened, right? So I'm driving here, and I mean, I was up at 4:30 this morning, and I'm grinding. I'm like, I don't feel like going in. I say that every single time I come, and so I'm driving in, and we had our lineup today. We had our topics, but we had an open slot, right? And so, Steph connected something about the promises, right? So I put a love and because it was really cool and it's what I needed at that time, and she's like, hey, you guys podcast, and I'm like, funny you say that because I'm pulling in right now, and I'm like, hey, we got an open slot, you want to jump on? And
so it's 5+ in the morning, 5 a.m.
Yep.
And you two are chatting like about sobriety.
About the promises.
When most people are crawling in from the 4 o'clock bar close.
We have listeners that are crawling in sober curious.
Right.
So
Yep. Awesome.
So that's how. So Stephanie, welcome. Great to have you again.
Thank you.
So
what's keeping you so busy these days? Kind of give us an update from the last time you were here.
Oh, it's first of all, it's a fantastic busy. It's a lot of the same. I work as a nurse. I have 3 beautiful, smart, athletic children that are super involved in sports, and the sports and the driving is overwhelming at times, and driving in circles and back and forth. And
so mom being an Uber,
right?
Yeah, literally.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Love every moment of it, because before you know it, it goes away, and now I desire to be driving my kids around to soccer, football, band, everything else. Right.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
It's hard to comprehend in the moment sometimes, but I do, especially now that I'm sober, consciously try to pause and not try to. I pause and sit in the moment and enjoy it and look at my kids. My 13-year-old is as tall, if not taller than me this morning when he wakes up. Seems like he's growing literally every day. And he turned 13 this year. And so it made me think about how fast those first 13 years went, and that I only have 5 years left. And if that's going to go by even faster, it's less time. And they, they were with me 100% of the time when they were little. Now they're at school and with their friends. And so the time becomes more and more limited. So sobriety has really helped me pause and enjoy the moment and be present. And I'm actively working on, when I'm with my kids, putting my phone down, because they're like, mom, and I'll be spaced out. So I'm really trying to be present and enjoy every moment. It is a fantastic gift. I agree.
It's great. What time does the house erupt this morning? What time will they begin to make their noise?
My oldest is getting picked up by his dad at 7:15, so he'll be up soon. But he's self-sufficient and quiet. And then I'll probably wake the other two up around 7:30 or 8. We don't have to leave until closer to 9 for the little kids.
So you got some quiet time to spend with Mike and Glenn. I love it.
I do. I love it. It's so perfect.
So here's what I notice. Just like you're doing right now, right? It just seems like your life is full, and we just got a snapshot from the kid perspective. But it's also full from work, right? Because I see sometimes you actually work, and then I see the rest of the time from my bleacher seat, I see a lot of fulfillment and activity with sobriety.
Exactly.
So you're balancing, even though you got 3 full loads.
Correct. It is it's very complicated to make sure I keep it evenly balanced. The Sober Active group and the sober activities are a gift from God. It's just so great to be with people who are like-minded and want to be out and about having fun. And it shows that, sobriety is fun. I didn't know how I was going to socialize and communicate and have fun without drinking, because it was such a huge part of my personality. It was my entire personality. I mean, people said, Steph, they pictured me with a drink in my hand. There was no doubt about it. And to be reinvented, to have my entire persona reinvented in this way, and to, in your words, be a bright light, for sobriety and for recovery, and show that it is so much fun and there's so much to do, is just an amazing gift. There's so many gifts of sobriety. The first one is being a sober mom. The second one is, sober daughter, just family member. I would say just family member. And then as being more patient as a nurse. And then the next gift, I would say, if I had to put them in order, is reaching back for others, helping others. If I am too busy, which I hate to say this because it's like not AA-ish, but I can't. I don't want to do harm to someone by sponsoring them if I'm not available. I mean, I can't be woken up in the middle of the night. So I tried sponsoring somebody once. I was not available as needed, as expected. I did lay that out there in the very beginning. And my sponsor and I have discussed this, and I do look forward to the day when I'm able to sponsor. But so my way of giving back is through the activities, through Recovering Out Loud and Proud, through sharing about it. And if people contact me looking for help, I can absolutely and do connect them with people who are able.
That is so awesome, because you're right. There's a fine line. I picked up sponsees recently, and it's demanding, but yet, and now I've made the commitment, right? So I'm kind of into it. I think where the seat from which you're operating out of, I think you're doing the right thing. And I love what you said at the end there. There will come a time when you can pick up the phone and it's not going to bother you at 1:00 in the morning, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but I just want to jump in here. So I think, I made a couple notes. One is I love when you say you're recovering out loud and proud, right?
Yeah.
And when you hear about the 12-step, right, I think a lot of people go to sponsorship. And it doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, that's one of many ways to give back and help the next alcoholic. I think helping others in whatever way is a superpower. Right? I just think the 12-step is a superpower. And what I found is it doesn't matter how busy I am, if I'm helping somebody else in whatever way, things just work. Like the universe just gets things to work out. And I had a sponsor one time, God love him. He wanted 3 hours a day of my time. And I told him at the time, I'm like, dude, I'm busy. I set the expectation. And I said, here, if you want me to sponsor you, here's what it looks like. And like 3 months in, he came to me. We sat down on my front porch. He goes, Glenn, I got to find another sponsor. And I'm like, hey, sure. What are you thinking? He goes, I just need, I need like 1, 2, 3 hours a day where I can really dig in and flush through. And I'm like, okay, that is not me. Good luck. And he found this great retired guy that had the time, that would make the time. So that's all okay, and so don't judge yourself. It sounded like you maybe a little bit you were judging yourself. And you help so many people by recovering out loud and proud on social media and what you drop and your involvement with the Phoenix. And you're also connected, I'm not sure if the word involved, but with other groups too.
Correct. To elaborate on that just a little bit more, thank you for saying don't be hard on yourself. I am not. I know, like, I have a plan and a vision for what I will be able to do in the future. And there's a lot of people that reach out that would that I could help and volunteer for. And I do a lot of things with the Phoenix, and I obviously schedule those things ahead of time, and I pick and choose the events that I can do that are not when I have my kids. So it looks like I might have all this time, but if you post something once a week, you're out and about, it might seem like that's what you're always doing. But in reality, that's what I can squeeze in after work on a day that I don't have my kids. So and just recording this, taking 30 minutes to do this is going to be etched in stone and, permanently recorded as part of the internet. That is going to be available for hundreds, if not thousands of people to listen to. And so, in a way, by sharing this openly, it's out there for people to find whenever they're looking for it in the future. And that might reach more people in the long term than what I could do sponsoring one person. So I definitely look forward to sponsoring in the future. I do absolutely want to give back what my sponsor and so many others so freely gave to me. And I do believe in the way that it's set up in AA. I am a firm believer in that. So yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
And just to clarify a very key point, you said maybe tens or hundreds of people that this, just to clarify, it's millions and millions and millions in 50 countries, including Bangladesh.
Well, and millions, we've rounded up. That's just kind of a rounded number.
We've rounded it up by millions.
No, that is awesome, and I love what you say, because when we get to the 12 step, I do think about the people in the rooms. Not only my sponsor, but probably I give more weight to the other 12 people that sit around the table when I go to a meeting. They're 12-stepping me at that time. They're saying something I need to hear, and I put a lot of weight into that, and so I'm very cautious about when I open my mouth. I'm very intentional about what I have to say, because this isn't a therapy session for me as much as I want to have a nugget of hope for somebody who's really struggling.
So, Steph, I have a question for you. I know you're a nurse.
Yes.
But I think you're an elevated nurse, right? You're ICU or ER nurse or something?
I don't consider myself elevated, but thank you. But yes, I do have extra training in the ICU.
That's what I meant.
Yes. I understand. Yes, I do.
Advanced.
And
enhanced. Whatever word you want to use.
Thank you. It is a fantastic blessing to be able to go to work, and obviously I need money. Like, I have to pay the mortgage and bills. So unfortunately, the world does revolve around money. But while I'm working, I very frequently take care of addicts and alcoholics.
That was exactly where I was going.
Yes, go ahead.
So I have, part of my story, I've been in at least 80 detoxes. So there's 80 plus times where I have had an ambulance pick me up, or I've walked in the front of a hospital door and Stephanie, don't yell at me. I said, I'm having a heart attack because you get to the front of the line. The heart attacks go before broken bones. And they would rush me in, and they're, Glenn's drunk again, right? and I'd blow a 3.5, blood draw or whatever. The highest I was with a 4.6, and those nurses, right? I felt sorry for them, right? Because I'm like, there's people that really need help. I needed help, but so how do you? And there were some that were very nasty, right? Because they're like,
yes,
you can control this. What are you doing? You're wasting our time. There's people out there in the ER that really needs help. You just BS'd your way back here again, right? So is there a difference for you pre-sobriety, how you helped, people that would come in drunk, and then post-sobriety?
So pre-sobriety, I have always had an empathetic heart towards alcoholics because of my father's sober. And I knew sooner or later that I was heading that way. And I would volunteer to take care of them. I mean, there were some times that I was probably so hungover and I felt like such shit that I was right there with them. You know what I mean? Suffering along beside them, even though I was taking care of them. And now I did initially deal with a lot of guilt. Like, why am I one of the lucky ones? Why did God give me this gift? Why am I so lucky when I could have easily been that person hundreds of times? There were, substances involved aside from alcohol, and I've seen infrequently. Vodka is what took me down. So at work, I see complications, obviously fentanyl ODs or unintentional mental health, intentional overdoses, suicide attempts, alcohol withdrawal, infected wounds from dirty needles. That goes to your bloodstream, that goes to your aortic valve. I've taken care of people that have had open heart surgery due to drug use. Or I took care of a patient. I've taken care of many patients who become brain dead if they already are not, and go and donate their organs. And so I don't know. I don't even have to volunteer anymore to take those patients because they assign them to me. I think they just know that that's what I want at work. And you're definitely correct about the stigma in the ER. Think about this. I definitely think the ER nurses deal with, a tremendous amount of BS. Drunk, drugs, domestic violence. I'm not calling that BS. I'm calling it emotionally taxing stuff.
Right.
And think about how many times you just said 85 times you went to the emergency room or detox drunk. How many times have you been there since you've been sober?
0.
Correct. So they only see the drunk asshole.
That's a good point.
They only see us when we're drunk and they think we never get sober, and they probably don't know that you're sober, but they probably think you're dead. So they only have this connotation, or this is what I have come up with, that they see us at our worst, and then they don't know that some of us get better because we don't have to go back. I
just got chills.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to go back anymore.
Yeah.
So in the ICU, it's a little bit different for me, I think. The ER definitely gets, the walloped with the people that come in drunk after bar time, wake up, and get discharged.
Right.
Yeah. But in the ICU, and especially with younger doctors and nurses coming out, I definitely think the stigma is changing in healthcare to a more empathetic place. And at my work, if I'm around, people definitely know, and they probably watch what they say because I've called people out on it before. Like, excuse me, they're just here again for alcohol withdrawal. Wait, I'm a sober alcoholic. In rounds in front of like 20 doctors or whatever. Not 20 doctors.
Loud and
doctors
proud. Right.
Yeah, like it's somebody's son, it's somebody's daughter and mother, and they're not just here again, they're trying again.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome. So can you said something I just want to bring back is
yes.
You said that God gave you the gift of sobriety.
Yes.
And I'm just pondering that. Did God give you the gift or did you accept it?
Excellent point. He relieved the mental obsession, which allowed me to do the work to to work the steps in the program because I was struggling when it was not removed. And he gave me the willingness and the desire to want to work the steps. Without that gift of removing the mental obsession, I was not succeeding. Thank God. I mean, I struggled for years drinking, but once I started to try to get sober, I only struggled for 6 months before this time I've been sober 4 years and 9 months now. So when I say only, I mean, I only struggled trying to get sober. And like you just shared, for years, we know that people suffer for years, and a lot of them chase it to death or insanity. So when I call sobriety a gift, it's because we know that the numbers are like, we're in the minority of people that make it to long-term recovery. What's the definition of long-term recovery when we all just have today, right? But I think I could say at 4 years and 9 months that I'm in long-term recovery, and we know that's, a low percentage of people that try. So it is a gift. And when I was trying alone without my higher power that I call God, I was trying on willpower and stubbornness, and I was doing the 1, 2, 3 hamster wheel, and I'd slip up, and I was avoiding steps 4 and 5. And once I got the message loud and clear in jail from God, I had a lightning bolt moment, and I know not everybody gets that either. So once I had that moment, I don't hear God talking to me. They say when we talk to God when we're praying, and we hear him when we're meditating. I don't hear anything. I feel a presence, and I call them God drops. I don't call them coincidences anymore in sobriety. They're God drops, because it's like this morning. What are the chances that I'm awake? And I sent that to you last night, and then boom, here we are. This is more than just a coincidence. It was a God drop in our morning to connect us today. And so he made it available, and I accepted the gift.
Love it. I mean, that was amazing. In fact, I get chills every time I hear God drop or God shot. I get chills. So one of the things about, I'm working with some guys right now about prayer, and they're like, oh, I don't hear God, and I think that's a muscle for me that needed to be developed over time, right? That it was just, I had to be patient. I had to just sit in school over time and learn and learn and learn and unlearn and learn. But a lot of times I hear God through other people. And I really believe that. I think God in the universe works it so I get the message that I need from whatever medium. Sometimes it's social media, believe it or not. Sometimes it's TikTok. Sometimes it's, conversation. Sometimes it's in a 12-step meeting. Sometimes it's in a church group, right? Sometimes it's, in church. Sometimes it's with a family. But so what I've learned is God gets the message to me if I'm open to it in amazing different ways. And then I think when I hear it, he gives me the chills. And that's my thing right now where I recognize, okay, pay attention to that. So I love it. So it sounded like when you said the lightning bolt, I think immediate. But a lot of times, relieving the mental obsession takes time, right? And for me, the phrase I use during that period of time is I suffer better, right? When I'm sitting in a pile of shit that I just don't feel good, but I know if I sit through this, I'm going to get through it. And I have enough facts that there's no pile of crap that I'm not going to be able to sit through. Mm-hmm. But I love how it works. I love how you jumped in. I love your, how active you are out there, just sharing the positive joy of sobriety, right? And a lot of people think, oh, my life's over if I get sober. That's where life begins.
It's not true.
Right.
That's where life begins.
And you know what? The early stages of sobriety, it's hard to see past losing your friends, staying home on Friday night, reading a book, taking a bath. That seems boring in the beginning, but that's what you need to do to get through to the next part. We grieve the old life because we're creating a new life and we just haven't met our new people yet. And I do specifically remember a Friday night, and my neighbors were all in early sobriety, and my neighbors were all out having a bonfire, and it was Halloween and fall, and I heard everybody laughing, and I just turned on my fan to drown out the noise and went to sleep. And I woke up in the morning, and I was fresh, and I was not hungover, and I thought, I didn't miss out on anything.
And they're all sleeping fantastic in the driveway.
Right, and I'm in my bed, and everything's where I left it the night before. And,
that's awesome.
So it definitely is difficult to see in early sobriety. And I experienced that too. And I would like to, share that is normal. Mm-hmm. You just don't know what's coming yet. You just don't know all the fantastic things that are about to evolve. And the connections that you're going to make because you're sober. I would have obviously never met a sober active group if I wasn't sober. I wouldn't have met these people. I think I was meant to be in Milwaukee. I'm from, as we've talked about before, I'm from the suburbs of Chicago, and I'm sure there's a great scene there, but I wouldn't be with these people. And it was just meant to be this way. And I do also like to give shout out to fellow sober Wisconsinites, because the drinking culture here is so insane. I mean, it's difficult to get sober anywhere, but it's a lot in Wisconsin. I was in the Dells with my kids, and the bar's open at 10 a.m. and there's people cracking beers. And so yes, thank you for having me. I'm so happy that this worked out. It was
always love connecting.
Yeah, it was definitely a God drop that we were all available this morning.
You are such a beacon of light. I mean, you really are. You're such a beacon of hope.
Absolutely.
I'm just grateful. I got my God drop this morning, just sitting back listening to YouTube banter.
It's awesome.
It was fantastic.
Awesome. Stephanie, great. Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying connected.
Part 5 soon.
Love it.
Part 5 soon, or whatever it is. Part 3, Part 5.
Whatever part it is.
Keep us posted, man.
Sure. Whenever you have an opening, let me know. I'm happy to jump in if I'm available.
Awesome.
These early morning hours are usually good. I want to thank you guys for your service. I know that you guys are probably shelling out some money to do this, and it is an excellent way of giving back, and I know that you're reaching so many people, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Thanks, dear.
Thanks,
Take
Stephanie.
care. Bye-bye now.
Have a great day. Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Thanks for joining us for today's coffee chat. To contact the show, email us at podcast@sober.coffee. If you need immediate help, the AA hotline is 800-839-1686. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 800-273-8255. Remember, Mike and Glenn are sharing their own journey on the path to recovery. Any suggestions, medical or otherwise, are their own experiences and should not be viewed as professional advice. See you next week, and remember, there is a solution.